Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, I don't know about you, but I am feeling good about America. April Fools. Speaking of fools, Donald Trump. Tomorrow, Trump will officially announce his price-raising, economy-breaking tariffs on what he's calling...
Liberation Day.
Yes. Liberation Day, I'm reminded of the immortal words of Patrick Henry, give me liberty or charge me an extra $10,000 for a Hyundai Elantra. Yes. Still gets you. Right up here? Right up here? Like everything, he's got to make it a spectacle. So he's unveiling the tariffs in a major Rose Garden event. Because when you elect a reality TV star, you get all your economic policy via rose ceremony. Germany, I enjoyed our time in the fantasy suite, but your home visit left me cold. 30% tariffs across the board. Pack your lederhosen, Fräulein. There's even Das ist schlecht. Schokoladenhassenpfeffer. Here's how it's going to work. Here's how it works. Experts are warning that if permanent tariffs do take effect and other countries retaliate, the economy would almost immediately tumble into a recession that would last for more than a year. So, if you have a retirement account, no, you don't. Republicans are already scrambling to pre-contain the damage, and they've settled on this fun new metaphor.
There's absolutely going to be short-term pain. I mean, if you're going to remodel your house to make it better in the end, it's going to be really annoying in the short term when your house is getting remodeled.
I feel like in some ways in the economy, this is kind of like a kitchen remodel or a bath remodel. There's a bit of a mess at the beginning, but everybody has a long-term look of where we're headed.
Way to connect to people suffering economic hardship, Republicans. You know that thing where you not only own a home, but have the money to remodel it? Okay, you seem angry. Let me try another analogy. Let's say that one of your boats needs a paint job. So that doesn't resonate? Okay, imagine you're hungry for dinner now, but your private chef says it won't be ready for 20 minutes. Why isn't this working? A reporter asked Trump about his tariff approach, and his answer got kind of weird.
We're going to be very nice. Relatively speaking, we're going to be very kind.
Mr. President, you met with the chairman.
Somebody said that about me the other day. He said, who doesn't know me very well, they said, you're such a kind person. And I said, say that again. They said, you're a kind person. I said, I'd never heard that before.
Yes, never heard. Now, I've heard it a lot. Never heard kind. I've heard selfish a-hole. I've heard demented sack of garbage. I've heard syphilitic sociopath who never got love from his father. And all of those were from Melania. So Trump said... Trump said all that stuff there in an Oval Office press gaggle celebrating his new executive order aimed at ticket scalping, where he invited a special guest.
It's an honor to have you back. A friend of mine, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. I know him as Bob, but he's been a good friend for a long time, many years, and he's been after something that is for the good of a lot of people.
You guys see him too, right? Good. Good. Okay, it's not just me. He's really there. Okay, kind of spooky, Bob. Kind of just appeared. I'm sorry, Jim, can we see Mr. Rock again? He looks like an Uncle Sam who just found a stripper floating in his above-ground pool. He looks like he should be filled with candy and let children beat him with sticks. He looks like... He looks like if Harold Hill and the Music Man were a porno star, and it ends with a stripper floating in an above-ground pool. Oh, here's some fun news out of Idaho, where on Wednesday, their governor signed into law a bill that criminalizes the public exposure of breasts. Yes, you cannot have topless women running around Boise. It violates the Idaho state motto. Idaho, nothing interesting here, please. This bill This bill is an update to a pre-existing indecent exposure law, which will now ban the display of female breasts, male breasts altered to look like female breasts, artificial breasts, and toys or products that resemble genitals. What? No toys? This is terrible news for the ill-fated Rubik's labia. Really? It's all blurred? There's no part of the toy that is unblurred. I've never solved it. But, hey, this booby bill. But this booby bill has had an unintended consequence because, according to Idaho State Minority Leader Melissa Wintrow, the bill would allow people to call police over dangling faux scrotums hung on truck hitches, commonly known as truck nuts. They can't castrate our trucks. No, they're supposed to go honk, honk, not honk. Wintrow said of truck nuts, they're gross, they're offensive, and kids on the road see them. So why wouldn't the police get a call and say, that offends me, pull it off the truck? That's going to make for some unusual traffic stops. License and registration, please. Sir, are you aware of how big your balls are? All right? There, you can go. You can go. Ooh, speaking of hot areas, Trump has a plan to solve the problem of global warming. Say it's not a problem. Evidently, Trump wants to convince the world that climate change is a good thing. All that is bad is now good. War is peace, hate is love, higher prices or lower prices, and that thing where you bite the inside of your cheek and then you can't stop biting the exact same spot all day long is now brunch. Specifically, Trump wants to rewrite an EPA report that found greenhouse gases emissions to be a threat to public health and produce a national climate assessment written by climate deniers who argue that the impacts of climate change are overstated or would even be a net positive. Sure, it's not climate change, it's climate zhuzhing. It's not warming oceans, it's unlimited seafood bisque. One climate expert says, in America, anyone is free to call devastating storms, floods, droughts, air pollution, killer heat waves, and a growing threat of mosquito and tick-borne diseases a good thing, but saying it doesn't make it true. No, that does not make it true. What will make it true is when Trump signs the executive order saying tick-borne diseases are a good thing next to his good friend, Kid Tick. It's a long walk. It's a long walk to call back. It's a very long walk to call back. The only thing worse than Trump's global warming ideas are his immigration ideas. See, he's been flying plane loads of immigrants out of the country without any due process, some of whom he's accused of being gang members based largely on their tattoos. All right, let's book this maniac. His bicep contains a clear threat to shoot mom through the heart with an arrow. Now, ICE isn't sending these guys back to their home countries. Instead, Trump has been flying them to El Salvador, where they've been put in a notorious maximum security prison where prisoners do not receive visits and are never allowed outdoors. And those are the kind of inhuman conditions previously only endured by people who work at Amazon. Oh, which reminds me, where are my Nespresso pods? I ordered them 20 minutes ago. Just arrived. Last week, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem toured the prison and posed for this disturbing photo, which coincidentally is also the poster for the upcoming crossover show, Mad Max Fury Road, MILF Manor. Pretty good. Up till now, the administration has claimed it's only pulling the no-hearing snatch and grab on bad guys. But yesterday, they conceded in a court filing that they mistakenly deported a Maryland father to El Salvador because of an administrative error. An administrative error? An administrative error lands you in an inescapable prison where no one ever hears from you again. That's like something out of that Kafka novel. Damn, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And keep in mind, I'm dying of tuberculosis in an Austrian sanatorium. Apparently, the man in question had already received protected legal status from an immigration judge, and Trump's lawyers acknowledged that ICE was aware of his protection from removal. This is so insane. This is so off the charts insane that one of Trump administration's own lawyers texted a reporter covering the story, "What the which would make pretty good lyrics for our new national anthem. And the home, what the play ball! Okay, this is very bad, but at least they admitted their mistake. I mean, who among us hasn't accidentally popped a black bag over the head of a Maryland father and then rendered him to a hellscape prison in El Salvador? Let's just bring him back. No harm, no foul, right? Wrong. Because in that same court filing, the Trump administration said the court has no ability to bring him back now that he is in Salvadoran custody, arguing that Trump's primacy in foreign affairs outweighs the interests of the deportee and his family. Okay.
Wow.
If that stands, then it's goodbye habeas corpus. Trump's primacy outweighs the courts. And don't think that that only applies to folks like this detainee. If there's no due process, we have no idea if any of these people are citizens, meaning every single person on American soil is now at risk of being disappeared until the day Trump and his goons are finally out of power. I wonder if there's a way to describe what that day will feel like.
Liberation Day.
We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Michelle Williams and from CBS's Fire Country, Max Terriot. But when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?